In the time of the early followers in ancient Jerusalem, when the early church was blooming in love, filled with unity, holiness, and sacrifice, the fear of God reigned supreme in the hearts of every believer. It was a time when the hearts of the converts longed for righteousness. Yet amidst this purity, two hearts chose deception. What happened next sent a wave of holy fear through everyone who heard it. In those days, the early church, in their common fellowship as believers, were together, having all things in common. Those who had great possessions and goods sold them, sharing with all men as each had need. They worshipped together with gladness and singleness of heart, praising God and receiving favor from all men, even the unbelievers. This is the story of Ananias and his wife Sapphira, a couple of that same period who owned a piece of land, a vast possession, which they eventually sold. But somewhere between the sale and the offering, a plan was born, a plan of deception. Why give it all away? Who would ever know if they kept back a little portion? After all, they could still look just as holy. But could they ever fool the God who sees all? Ananias stepped forward first, money in hand, his feet steady and confident. The apostles, led by Peter, watched as he laid the gift before them. To everyone else it looked like sacrifice, but to heaven it reeked of deceit. Peter's voice cut through the room sharp like a sword. Ananias, why has Satan filled your heart to lie to the Holy Spirit, and to keep back part of the price of the land? While it remained, was it not your own? And after it was sold, was it not in your own power? Why have you conceived this thing in your heart? You have not lied unto men, but unto God. And in that instant the mask of generosity shattered. Ananias collapsed to the ground, lifeless. Silence swept through the gathering as the men carried his body out, and fear gripped every soul. After a span of 3 still hours, Sapphira, unaware of her husband's fate, walked in with poise, still wearing the mask of innocence they had crafted together. Peter turned to her with a piercing gaze and asked, "Tell me, Sapphira, did you sell the land for so much?" "Yes," she replied, unrepentant in her deceit. That was it, her fate was sealed. Peter's voice thundered, "How could you agree together to test the Spirit of the Lord? Look, the men who buried your husband are at the door, and they will carry you out also." At once she fell at his feet, her breath gone, her body still. And just as Peter had said, the same men who buried Ananias came in and carried her out, laying her beside him. This brought about a wave of holy fear throughout the whole church. Every ear that heard it trembled, every heart pondered in awe. For in a community filled with love and sacrifice, God had shown that hypocrisy had no place. So the question this story asks is, can you hide anything from God? Can you wear a mask before the one who sees the heart? Their story teaches us to work with God with all sincerity, without hypocrisy and not as men pleasers. Ananias and Sapphira tried, and their story still whispers a warning through the ages. God cannot be deceived.